Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I am an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you'd like to know more about my knitwear designs, please check in the description below. There you will find a link to my Ravelry page where you can see all of the patterns I have available for you to purchase and knit up for yourself. Also in the description below, you will find a link to the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group. We'd love to have you come over and join us so we can continue the conversations that we start on this YouTube channel. And as always, I love chatting with people in the comments. So if you have any thoughts or any questions, anything you'd like to say, please let me know. And I try to respond to as many people as possible. Right off the bat, you guys would be like, what's that? So today I was in the yarn store and I was using my red pen, my red Sharpie, to mark down clearance. So we put a line through it to show its clearance, and I discounted myself. So for today only, I am 40% off, but actually it's Sharpie, so I might be 40% off for a couple of days. Who knows? But just in case you're like, what's on her arm? That's weird. So today I am going to do a vlog because it's been a while since I've just chatted and I've got quite a few things going on. The first thing I want to mention is something that I'm pretty excited about. There is this wonderful website called Mason-Dixon Knitting. It is a long-standing thing in the knitting community. If you haven't ever stumbled across it, you should go check it out. It is a pair of amazing knitters who have created a wonderful community. It started out as a blog and it has evolved over the years. The website has reviews and all kinds of fun stuff. But the thing I specifically want to talk about is they, for March, have done what's called a March Mayhem, and this is the second year they've done it. And what it is it's sort of like there's a certain, I understand, sports ball, basketball-y thing going on, something about 64 teams and their brackets, and I don't understand any of it. But they have created a version of it for knitters, and it is super cool. And they made a bracket, and it's 64 different patterns broken down into 4 different categories. So the categories, I have it up on my computer over here, are pullovers, cardigans, neck and shoulders, and head and hands. I got to get these right. So pullovers, like pullover sweaters, ones that aren't going to be buttoned up at the front, they're in their own category. Cardigans, which is another top that's just buttoned down the front, is in its own category. Neck and shoulders, which are going to be shawls and cowls and things like that. And then head, hats and stuff, and hands, the 4 different categories. And it's 4 different brackets. And there's X number per, I'm sure there's math involved here. Let me click on the bracket and count. I can really tell you. I know that it's a total of 64. And let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that makes sense. There's a sweet 16. You can tell I don't pay attention to the basketball, but this knitting thing has me excited. So each one has 16, and what they've done is it's only considering patterns that were published in 2018, and they've gone through and they've made their selections. And so there's 16 in each category, and then they're asking their readers and other knitters to vote on they're all paired up, like they're going, you know, 2 patterns going head to head against each other, and they're paired up, and then the brackets will get smaller and smaller, just like it does in the basketball game, until there's like, ooh, a winner. Which, you know what, we're all winners because we all get to look at fun and interesting knitting. But obviously I'm talking about this, I was completely and utterly floored to learn that one of my patterns was included in this bracket. And I was even more floored because, as y'all know, I mostly do shawls, but they apparently really like my mitts. So excited. My Spaghetto Mitts are in the head and hands category, and these are, if you remember from last summer, my colorwork mitts. I'm not gonna pull them all the way on, but so you can see them. They're my colorwork mitts done in the Anzula cashmere, Serenity, and they are mosaic. So they are slip stitch. It is just knitting stripes and slipping stitches, but it was my attempt to make them look as much like Fair Isle as a stranded piece as possible. And apparently that concept intrigued the people selecting the patterns. So my Spaghetto Mitts are in this first round. And if y'all should feel moved and you like them, I would really appreciate you going and voting for my pattern in this March Mayhem. The voting starts today, March 21st, and runs through the 24th. I will put a link in the description below to the bracket, and so you can read all about it and understand it. And then I believe what it said is that they're going to do the voting by SurveyMonkey, so I'm sure there'll be a link and it'll be very clear on their website. And I would love it if you all would click over and vote for my mitts in the head and hand category. Just could be fun. And you know, it's always it's just the honor to be nominated, which is, it really, I was floored. I could not believe that I was in this with such, I mean, the designers are absolutely amazing and the patterns are beautiful. But it would be fun also to move forward. I'm sure that, and they're so soft. I can't, it was really nice to revisit these because they're just unbelievably soft. I'll also put a link in the pattern, the description below to the pattern page for these, and I believe I did a pattern walkthrough on these, so all those links will be below. But go over and vote for your favorite and look through all of the categories. You need to vote on all of them. There's some unbelievable patterns in there. So March Mayhem is starting. Please go check out my Spaghetto Mitts. Speaking of mosaic, I wanted to show y'all something I'm working on, and it's a hat. So I've gotten this far on it. I had to very carefully move my mic. It was the loop was stuck. So this is my tiny swatch. If y'all have ever wondered how I start, this is how I start figuring things out. And this is my little swatch for this is the beginning of an idea for a hat. And this is also using slip stitch color work, and I think it's looking pretty cool so far. I have some ideas I need to work through. It is in a bulky yarn, so it's going to knit up pretty fast, and it is in this yarn. It is Dolcetto from String Yarns. So there it is. As you can see, it's a wool cashmere blend. It is so super soft. I'm kind of in a cashmere mode right now. I mean, who doesn't get in a cashmere mode? But so tell me what y'all think of this. So it's got this all over pattern, but I'm thinking that I don't want to do the all over pattern like all the way to the top. I'm thinking starting with the gray band and having some sort of transition pattern, and then a band of this mosaic, and then another transition pattern, and then a solid crown, so that it's not quite so fiddly in trying to integrate the decreases into the patterning. I think it'll be easier on y'all as knitters and make it a more straightforward pattern, and I think it'd be cool. Now the question is, love to hear opinions in the bottom, should the top solid part be gray, or should the top solid part be pink, or can it just be striped? Opinions, do y'all have them? Because I would love to hear them. So that is something that I am working on, and things are going to be getting crazy. I am teaching a class on blocking this weekend at A Good Yarn, at the yarn store I work at. And then next week, I am getting on an airplane and flying to Colorado for Interweave Yarn Fest. And hopefully several of you have said that you're coming, and I cannot wait to meet you. Please make sure that you let me know that you've seen me on YouTube, and if you can mention, like if you've commented and you can mention your name, that would be like your like YouTube-y name, or if you're in the Facebook group, let me know and I'll be like, yay! You might actually get hugged. I will ask permission. I'm not a hugger by force, but if you want a hug, I will definitely be distributing hugs. And there is still room in some of my classes, so if you're a last minute comer to thinger, check in. And even if you're going to be at the event and you haven't signed up for one of my classes, hopefully I will run into you and we can say hi. So that I showed you this. Oh, I have a new pattern. I have a brand new pattern that is coming out next week, and there will be a pattern tour for it. I can't show it to you though, because it is for a club. It is the Yarn Over Truck. It's like their nerdy fandom club, and the theme is The Emperor's New Groove, the Disney film. And I had to create a pattern that they sent me yarn that the dyer dyed it to that theme, and then I had to create a pattern that fit in with a specific theme. And I can't give it away, but I wanted to give y'all a heads up that the pattern will be going live next week, and then there'll be a video on it. And I wish I could show it to you, but it needs to be a surprise for the club members, so I can't. So it's like sadness, but I have it coming out, so be on the lookout for it. I will be releasing it on the 25th, so keep your eyeballs peeled for that. So I have covered the Spaghetto Mitts and the new hat that I'm working on and the new pattern that's coming out and that I'm teaching. And I think I might have talked a little too fast. Sorry, y'all, but there is one last thing that I wanted to get to. And it made me think about it, this March Mayhem thing. It made me think about the reason why I do certain things I do, and I wanted to chat with y'all just a little bit about it. And this industry, the knitting industry, is full of a lot of small one-person show kind of businesses that all of us are hustling as hard as we can. We design, or we knit, or we dye yarn, or we make notions because we're passionate about it, because we're knitters or crocheters or crafters who love it as much as y'all who are watching this do, and we've tried to make it a professional part of our life. And as a little guy, it's hard to be seen. There's a lot going on, and there's it's just tough. So some of the things that I do Fave 5. I mean, I do Fave 5 because I want to bring fun patterns to your attention. I really am thinking about what I like and what y'all might like. But on the other hand, I'm also doing it because I want to use my voice to help lift up other members of this community, of this industry. I select designers. You probably won't ever see me with like a big name designer because, you know, they've got a lot of name recognition. I'm trying to bring people that you might not have seen to your attention. And this March Mayhem thing, I really appreciate Mason-Dixon Knitting, which is a big name, putting forth the effort to find new and interesting and different and maybe designers that you haven't seen. And I wanted to talk to y'all about ways that if you want to, you can help support members of this industry and members of this community without spending any money. Because I know we all buy yarn and we all buy patterns, but everybody has a finite budget. And I wanted to mention ways, and this event is one of the ways that you can support. Social media is so powerful. It's how you're seeing me right now. So if you have a designer or a dyer or a yarn that you particularly love, or you had a particularly good experience about it, posting about it on Facebook and making a link to it, posting pictures on Instagram of what you're working on and tagging or mentioning the designer or the yarn. if you wanted to, and I made a video that you particularly thought was fun or interesting, if you're in one of those big Facebook groups like Knit and Chat or anything like that, and it's like somebody asks a question about what's the difference between yarn weights, and you go, oh, Barbara made that video, sharing a link to that video. If someone asked for a specific type of shawl and you saw that one of the designs I mentioned in Fave 5, sharing a link. Those types of things are things that don't cost you anything but a little bit of time. And you would be amazed the difference it makes, the difference you can make in the efforts of, it's hard. I mean, they're one woman, one man, maybe a couple people shows. You don't have extensive money for advertising and things like that. And someone seeing the beautiful work that you've done on Instagram and like, look at this shawl and I'm knitting it. And if only one person goes, wow, that is really pretty. I think I want to get that pattern, or I want to buy that yarn. That's a sale. That is a sale that you have helped make for the person whose stuff that you have enjoyed. So don't ever think that your voice can't lift someone else up, because you can. And it's one of those things, it's just taking a moment to be kind or to say, I love that. It can mean so much to a person, because and I will tell you, I adore seeing pictures when y'all post pictures on the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group or on Instagram of my patterns that you're working on. You have no idea how much joy that brings me, because I know that you've trusted me with your time and your knitting time, which is valuable, and that you liked it enough to take a picture of it. It just makes me super happy. So even if for me to just see it, but it's something that I've been thinking about, and I've been thinking about talking about, is letting y'all know the power that you have to help the little indie dyer, or the independent designer, or the person who makes your favorite stitch markers. And honestly, it doesn't have to anybody in this industry. I am all about lifting the whole industry up. If you absolutely adore Knitter's Pride needles, mention it. Say, this is great, because people trust their friends and people who have actually used something. And if you like it, recommend it. It goes a long way, and it helps foster conversation, and it just helps build a better community that we're all together and trying to find the best and most fun stuff we can do in knitting. And so I had my little soapbox, and I've been thinking about talking to y'all about this, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this type of thing and how I can help more. I try my best, and I'm trying to do these videos that can be helpful or fun or informative, but I know I can do more. My Fave 5 is one way of doing it. If there's anything y'all can think of that might be helpful to you, please let me know in the comments below or on the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group. Ideas that I haven't struck on, because, you know, I can always learn things. So that is my vlog. I probably talked a little bit too long, but keep a watch out for my pattern release next week, and go over to Mason-Dixon Knitting and pick out all of your favorites in the first round of March Mayhem, and I will keep you notified when the other voting goes up. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, click that like button, and if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. Thank you so much.